different lens, focusing on rigor, relevance, and relationships. If we can assure the presence of those three new R's in conjunction and in context within our reading, writing, and arithmetic, along with our other academic fields of endeavor, we can begin to understand and realize the high level of instruction that we are working very hard to achieve. Unfortunately, there are still many schools who look at strengthening a student's self-worth and character as extracurricular that cuts into the time of academics, teaching academics, or views it as totally separate from academics. And I'm happy to report that is not the case here at North Reading High School. The administrative leadership and staff, I think, support and believe in the premise that a student's sense of belonging or inclusiveness, security, and self-confidence in the classroom actually serves as a, if you will, a scaffold that bolsters up the foundation for enhanced learning, motivation, self-discipline, and caring. And so with that in mind, John Bernard and a select, committed 5 of staff began to, 2 years ago, to take on the process of implementing the SLAM program, which you've just heard about from the students. And we were very privileged to be part of that implementation. And it is a process. We don't even like to call it a program. It is a process because it's going to change every year. It just seems to expand and grow, and it was one way next year, it's this way this year, next year it'll look different. I do want to say, though, that now in its second year, it has already taken on the looks of a model program that other schools should be and will be looking to emulate. And attestation to this comes by way of a letter from the New England Association of Schools and Colleges, which was dated August 8th, 2008, where North Reading High School was commended for, among other things, quote, 1, the development and implementation of a Student Leadership Academy to support the transition of middle school students and students new to North Reading High School, and the extensive training provided to the identified student leaders by a consultant, which was funded by the school's parent association. As the letter implies, this has been a total team effort, which has incorporated the commitment and participation from administration, staff, and parents, and we are just more than proud to say that we are also part of that participation as well. Thank you very much for your support.
Well, thank you, students. Thank you, Dana, very much. I do want to just acknowledge for you quickly that there are 5, as Dana said, 5 faculty advisors who volunteer their time to work with the students in the Student Leadership Academy. 4 of them are here tonight. Mrs. Carrigan, Allison Carrigan, she's out on a maternity leave this year. She's the 5th faculty advisor. But the 4 remaining are here. They're Miss Nicole Parker. Nicole, why don't you stand up just to be acknowledged? And there's Shelley Gauthier, a science teacher here at the high school. Mr. Mark Emerton is a social studies teacher. And Mr. Bob Gannon, fresh off the girls soccer team coaching, is the 5th advisor. So thank you all to you for being here tonight and for all you've been doing the last couple of years to work with these students. And we have about 55 students that are involved in Student Leadership Academy. It's a large group. A number of students were here tonight, and I thank you all for being here as well. So, okay, with that said, our next group up is the Masters Club. Patrick, do you not have PowerPoint, or do you?
No,
we have a poster. Okay, want to bring that right up here? Okay. You might. They're fresh off of the Young Americans experience, so they want to talk to you a little bit about what that meant for them just a few weeks ago. So, it's all yours.
Thank you. All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the school committee. I'm Patrick Wicker, and I'm co-president of the North Reading High School Masters Club. And I'm here with my fellow officers today to talk about the Masters Club and one of the endeavors that we undertook this past month. As I probably mentioned before, as you may have known, it's the 40th anniversary and the 40th year of the Masters Club at North Reading High School. And part of the goal for myself and my fellow officers this year is to really strengthen the affinity for music and the arts in students of all ages. And one of the endeavors that we undertook was the Young Americans. And it was a wonderful experience that I know anyone can attest to it. That was just wonderful. And we just want to give a little more detailed report and assessment on what happened.
Right. Okay. Hi, I'm Jess Henderson. I'm also co-president of Maskers, and I'm just going to talk about what we did during the workshops with the Young Americans. The first day we met was Monday, and we first registered with them, and then we started the process of learning the show we're going to do. So we did singing, and we also did dancing, and it was very low-key day because it was late at night, and we just wanted to start going fresh. And then the next day, on Tuesday, we really got working. We did improv workshops, which was not part of the show, but it also helped us to open up and just to learn how to just be carefree and experiment with new things. And we also learned the rest of the dances we did for the show. And we had a really comfortable environment where people were able to sing in front of other people and not feel judged or not feel embarrassed. And through that, they chose who was going to sing the solos, and it was just a really fun experience. And on Wednesday, we had the performance. So we didn't really do any workshops that day besides running the show and then performing it later that night and earlier that evening. And yeah.
Hi, I'm Alexandra Leslie, Vice President of Maskers. And Young Americans was a program, and it was an experience that the students of North Reading could only gain from, and it was just a great time. As a community, we bonded in a way that only the theater could make us bond, and I felt like it was a heightened experience of what the Maskers program at our high school was. And it was just a thrilling, exhilarating, inspiring time of our lives. And that's an actual quote from people that I talked to.
My name is Josh Gordon. I am the treasurer of Maskers. We really couldn't have done everything that we did in those 3 days without the help of the community and the parents. We had 23 parents open their homes to these 46 Young Americans because they have to host them. They can't just stay in hotels or whatever. They have to stay with the kids and get to know them and everything. And so they actually slept over Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, and Wednesday night because they arrived on Sunday. They actually arrived on Sunday. We registered then, and then Monday we sprung into all the workshops and everything. The parents had to provide meals for those 4 days, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Then they also had to stay longer hours because after every day the Young Americans would tear down or set up or whatever they need to do for the next day, so they would all be waiting for longer than they thought they would be. And then not only did we have the homestay parents that helped out a great deal, but other parents just from around the community or that had children involved with the show helped out too. With our on Monday night and Tuesday night, we had potlucks for the entire show. And every night, both nights, we had about 25 parents on average come help out with these potlucks, set up, clean up, everything else that was needed. And they helped out with concessions during the 2 performances. They took pictures, and they did everything else that was needed, and we really could not have done everything that we did without them, so we really have to thank them.
Hi, I'm Lizzie Wheeler. I'm the Maskers secretary. The environment that the Young Americans created was basically the perfect learning environment because they were so encouraging and helpful that I think everyone just kind of let go of their self-consciousness and felt free to experiment and, test their new talents. And a lot of kids would probably not have tried nearly as hard if they weren't so comfortable. And I think everyone learned a lot because of that. And kids of all ages and experience levels were affected by it. And it was so great. The learning environment was absolutely perfect. And after the Young Americans, the second show we had, all the high schoolers had a chance to audition for the group itself, and almost 24 of us showed up and auditioned, and I think that's just that goes to show how great it was that so many people wanted to be a part of it afterwards.
Hi, I'm Rob Flaherty again, and I'm the Public Relations Officer and Historian of the club. And we'd like to thank you guys for your support, the school committee for helping us and giving us all the support we needed with putting this forward. We couldn't have done it without the help of you guys and the community. And we wanted this to be sort of an outreach program. The middle school no longer has a drama program, and we wanted to be able to sort of inspire kids who won't be able to get that opportunity anymore, because I know that from my experiences in Maskers, which have been so great, I wish that the kids in middle school get to have that opportunity there. And this also allowed those kids from younger schools to meet us in the high schools, and we were able to interact with them and spend some time with them. I ate lunch with a bunch of elementary school kids too. They were very cool. And we tried to make it so it was as inclusive as it could possibly be. We didn't really get a pick of the dates. We kind of were begging them to come, and we had to make a lot of phone calls, so we kind of got their scraps. Monday was a town meeting, and then the Wednesday was Yom Kippur. But we tried to do what we could with that. And so once again, I'd like to thank you guys, and thanks for letting us all come up here.
Any questions about the experience?
Oh, yes. And
Oh, right.
at the end of the show, actually, there's a woman who is a young American from Japan, and she presented this to North Reading High School and Mrs. Kane as a gift. And it says, "We wish you love, the Young Americans World Tour 2008. And so we're trying to figure out a place where we can hang this. But, so yeah.
You said a number of you auditioned. When will you find out if...
They give us a time span of 2 to 3 weeks, and so this week should be
Seniors.
just carrying out.
Juniors will find out in about a year. Sophomores that audition will find out in 2 years. So
They
it's,
won't
They-
tell them until they're done school.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they really encourage you to finish high school, and like that's a requirement. So they don't want you to be like waiting for it all throughout high school, and like they want you to enjoy your high school experience. So they wait till your senior year to give you the letter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry that Mrs. Kane, Allison Kane, who worked very hard on bringing the Young Americans program here, was not able to be here tonight. She was invited, but she had another commitment and couldn't join us. But she worked very hard with the offices of Masters, and the students did a fabulous job, and a good job here tonight, so thank you very much for that. We have one more group for a brief presentation for you. It's our ECO team, and I'm thinking back to about a year and a half ago when I got this very nice email from a student, Valerie Berg, and the ECO team was her brainchild. And since that time, now in its second year, under the advisorship of Ms. Gauthier, again, Ms. Gauthier does a lot here in the school, like so many of our teachers. She's the advisor to ECO team also. The ECO team has done a wonderful job of raising environmental awareness, convincing me of the need to do a better job of recycling paper and plastic, and they have a very nice presentation for you. That's Valerie Berg, Amanda Imparato, and Amy Carvalho. So ladies, why don't you come up here? Val, I'll set you up with the PowerPoint, I think. While I'm doing this, I want to also just take a quick moment to introduce to you. We have a foreign exchange student here. Erin, I'm sorry. Can I just ask you this? I'm sorry, dear. Alize, you don't have to stand, Alize. I don't want to embarrass you, but Alize is here, living with Mr. and Mrs. Simons this year, attending school here at the high school from France. And how's it been so far, Alize? You having a good time? Huh? She's been playing field hockey. I think she's having a wonderful time. We're hoping to continue with the partnership with AFS through the good fortune of having parents, community members like Mr. and Mrs. Simons involved, willing to host a student for the year. So, Alize, welcome to your first school committee meeting? Yeah? See what you've been missing? So, let's see.
I just have to say, she played field hockey. I don't think she ever played before, and her growth during the season was amazing. The way she adapted.
Are you
to
here
the
for Eco
game
Team
was just
too?
Great.
Oh, okay. All right, because I didn't introduce you. I'm sorry. Okay, so this is our ECO team.
Okay, so like Mr. Bernard said, I'm Valerie Berg, and these are the other officers of ECO team, Amy Carvalho and Amanda Imparato. And we're just here to update you since you approved of ECO team starting at this time last year. And we're here to tell you what we did last year, what we're doing now, and also what we're planning on doing in the future this year and continuing on. You have to press on. So one of the first things that we did last year, we did a town cleanup, and it was on October 28th, 2007, and we had 60 people from ECO team sign up to do it. At that time, we had about 100 members in the club, and right now we have 125 members. And we all have, as you can see, everyone has a ECO team shirt on, and we We cleaned up behind